I'm not a big Trump fan. I'm just not. Because like I say, it's the president of the United States. It ain't for no small little group of nutty people. It's everybody. I don't care if, me and you're independent. And I don't have anything against Republicans. I don't have anything against Democrats.
His supporters would object to you calling them nutty people, though.
Well, I only call them that because they are. They're crazy. They're like your drunk friend. Like, once your friend's drunk, there's nothing you can say to him. Like, can you imagine? Let me ask you this, because you ever seen the movie A Time to Kill?
Yes, I have, actually.
And when the guy says, can you imagine if President Obama was acting like this dude been acting? But they'd be like, this dude cannot be president.
Yeah.
He's not even presidential. I mean, you're supposed, like, even George Bush Jr., excuse me, even though I might not agree with his policy, he acted like a president. Like, you're supposed to be like superior.
I know, but
you're the leader of the most important place in the world.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about Charles Barkley and his new show on CNN, King Charles, which is CNN's desperate attempt to try to get people to watch their network, okay? They're trying to go full-blown entertainment, okay? They're streaming Bill Maher on Friday nights or something like that, okay? And now they bought a NBA commentator, Charles Barkley, somebody that, does speak out on some political issues sometimes. He might give some social commentary, but I would not consider this guy to be, somebody that I would go to for political analysis on a network like a CNN or MSNBC, right? Like, he's not an actual, journalist. And that's not to say he can't speak on politics, but I'm just saying, if you're going to hire a guy, I'm not sure if Charles Barkley is the guy that I would be hiring to discuss politics, especially when all you do is just sit around and hate on Trump all day and, talk bad about Trump, which is what they're doing on his new show. And lo and behold, they are having terrible ratings, okay? The ratings for Charles Barkley's new show are a disaster, okay? As this show debuted last week to just 501,000 viewers, marking one of the lowest rated CNN primetime premieres over the past decade. Then this past Wednesday, the show dropped to 466,000 viewers. Now, just for comparison, Hannity averages 1.9 million viewers and Alex Wagner averages 1.4 million viewers. Now, she only has those viewers because of Rachel Maddow. But as you can see here, Gayle King and Charles Barkley are still not bringing views to CNN. And Charles Barkley, clearly is coping, right? He had a meltdown over the fact that the ratings are a disaster. Take a look.
I want to discuss, and this is to
Second of all,
this is to my people at CNN, my team. So
your team,
my team who puts the King Charles show together. I want them to know that, number one, you guys are incredible. You're working your butt off. I want to thank you. Me and Gayle are enjoying it. We've only did one show.
I watched it.
Yeah. So
it's good.
There was an article came out that our ratings weren't great, but I guess we want a certain demographic. I have zero idea what demographic, but I want to tell my team, and man, these Nielsen people are the biggest clowns in the world. Name me one person you know with a Nielsen box.
Are there still Nielsen boxes?
Yes, but there's still Nielsen rating. But
okay.
These Nielsen people try to say our ratings weren't great, but we want a certain demographic. Hey, man, to my team, fuck them. Don't you worry about, quote unquote, what people tell you about your ratings. Nobody knows what people are watching. They don't. You got a group of people who get to dictate who gets hired and fired. And that's the part that sucks about the Nielsen ratings. Some people who, quote unquote, they run the industry, they tell you what everybody's watching. They have zero idea what everybody's watching. And I know the first thing you're going to say, well, he's just upset because they said King Charles didn't get ratings. First of all, you are 100% fucking wrong. I actually said this exact same thing 20 years ago when I was on the #1 show. Let me repeat that. I said the same thing about the Nielsen people when I was on the #1 show on TNT. They have no idea who's watching inside the NBA.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Okay, now here's the thing. King Charles here is clearly coping, right? He's clearly coping with the reality that nobody wants to sit around and hear him talk about politics. AKA, nobody wants to hear a bunch of people sit around and talk trash about Trump all day, which is something that the liberal media has been doing for the past 6 years straight. Okay, they've done nothing but sit around and talk trash about Trump. Okay, and again, that's why it's no surprise to me that this new show on CNN is failing, because CNN is just dead set on trying to be MSNBC, and you're not going to MSNBC, right? You're not going to out MSNBC them, okay? You're just not going to. You're just not going to. I don't care if you hire Charles Barkley. I don't care if you stream Bill Maher. That ain't going to make people watch CNN, okay? People are not watching CNN because CNN has no credibility as a network. And when they had a guy that was at least willing to try to take the company in the right direction by being more neutral, right, by being willing to have more Trump people on, they got rid of the guy, right? They got rid of him because the change was not working out immediately, and they also couldn't stand the fact that CNN at least attempted to be neutral, right? That they were going to go in a neutral direction. So they ousted the last guy, and that they're doing stuff like this where they have Charles Barkley and Gayle King, two people who nobody gives a damn about. Nobody wants to hear what Gayle King got to say, okay? And again, don't get me wrong, Charles Barkley, he said some things in the past politically that I agree with, but he's also said some things I disagree with. But he's not a guy that I'm going to come to for political commentary. He's not a guy that I'm going to turn on the television and watch just to hear what he has to say about what's going on in politics. He's an NBA guy, right? If I want to hear about basketball, if I want to hear his analysis on basketball, I think that that's a lot more valuable than his analysis when it comes to politics. He's not a guy that I'm going to sit down and watch and listen to what he has to say because he's a basketball player, right? He doesn't really have, I think, the credentials or the track record of political commentary for me to feel like he's somebody I'm going to, sit down and watch every night. I'm just not going to, right? And again, it's just amazing to me the level of cope coming from Charles when he wants to try to pretend like the ratings, they don't matter, right? But they do matter. They're going to matter when you lose your job, right? When CNN inevitably cancels this show in a year because nobody's watching it, the ratings will matter, okay? The ratings will actually mean something because they damn sure they know how many people are watching these shows. Why do I say that? The reason why I say that is because advertisers are not going to spend money blindly to place ads on content that doesn't get viewers. So you better be damn sure that they definitely know how many people are watching that show. And unfortunately, there's just not that many people watching. Again, this is coming from a guy, I can't believe that Joy Reid gets hundreds of thousands, maybe even 1 million viewers a night. I can't believe it. But I do believe that there are enough people in this country that will sit down and watch Joy Reid. For as unbelievable as it is, I do believe that there are enough people in this country that will do that. It's unfortunate, but it happens. So with that being said, again, Charles, I mean, look, if you want to bring up the ratings, want to give you the same advice that I gave CNN, okay? Actually have people who are Trump people on the show. Have a different perspective, different opinions on the show outside of the typical liberal establishment narrative and, Trump derangement syndrome, right? Because that's what MSNBC and CNN are. It's establishment narrative, Trump derangement, Biden apologists, right? That's what it is, okay? And I think people are they're fed up with it, right? We've seen this, okay? This is not anything new. It doesn't matter if you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig, right? Doesn't matter if you put Charles Barkley on the show, it's still establishment, Trump deranged programming. That's what it is, okay? Whether it's Bill Maher, whether it's Charles, doesn't matter who it is. CNN is not going to recover until they actually start to expand the points of view that are placed on the network so that you could actually bring in an audience of people who typically wouldn't watch the network, but they're going to tune in and watch the network because they know that, okay, I'm going to get a mix of everything. I'm going to get neutrality, right? And I'm telling you, that probably would have worked out better for CNN in the long run rather than the decision to basically say, nah, screw that. We're going to try to out MSNBC, and it ain't happening, right? It ain't going to happen. I don't care who you bring onto the network. As long as they continue the Trump derangement, they're going to continue to suffer in ratings. Unless Trump becomes president, that is, right? If Trump becomes president, then, they'll probably benefit from that. But hey, until Trump becomes president again, I don't think the Trump derangement is really going to help him out all that much, at least not in the near term. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.